Ladies and gents, my name is Xander, aka Deislayers, and in this video, we're going to go over how to get past 265 power level and also how to get exotic engrams. The reason that we're doing both these things together within one topic is because each one of these events goes hand in hand by doing the exact same thing within Destiny. The way in which Destiny 2 is designed is that not only can you get past 265, but you can also get exotic engrams at the exact same time, and so that's why both these topics go hand in hand very well. In addition to this, we're also going to cover some of the do's and don'ts along the path to getting to 265, getting past 265, and also getting exotic engrams, because I know I've made a few mistakes along the way, and I certainly don't want you guys to repeat these exact same mistakes. Thus, we're going to go over all these do's and don'ts along with everything else, and the only thing left to do is to eviscerate that subscribe button, and let's jump right into the video. In general, the total number of light levels or power levels that you can get to within Destiny 2 and which you will cap out at is 365. Now, getting from light level 1 to 365 can be broken down into 4 separate categories, going from 1 to 200, 200 to 265, 265 to 300, and 300 to 365. If you want to complete the first level of going from 1 to 200 of power level, all you have to do is simply complete the campaign and do the side missions, as by doing just that alone, that will easily get you to light level 200, and this is where the light level will really begin. Once you get to 200, then you can get to 265 by simply decrypting blue engrams and by getting blue gear. You do this by completing patrols, public events, exploring the worlds, and defeating the yellow bosses, and with all 3 of these things combined, I want you to do them on one planet. The reason I want you to do it on one planet is because if you're constantly doing these exact same events on one planet, you're always going to be getting the same tokens over and over again, and those are going to stack up. Once you have enough of these tokens, you can then go ahead and go to that planet's master and then turn those tokens in, so then that way you'll get the legendary gear that you need by decrypting the legendary engrams. However, I'm going to state that you will wait and do this until you do reach 265 by just the blue gear alone, because these engrams from the vendors will then be able to allow you to get past this 265 light level limit, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. What you have to note though is that the game actually calculates your max level light based on the carry gear that you have at all times. So even if you don't happen to have your light level that's maxed out currently equipped, the game still calculates what the max light level is that you can get to as of right now, and it will then give you more gear based on all that calculation and computation. The other thing that you have to note is that as soon as you get a legendary engram, just by going around and completing patrols, public events, and exploring the worlds, you have to turn in those legendary engrams immediately, and the reason for this is because the game already takes into account your current light level, and it will then associate a light level to that legendary engram, and so you can't hoard these legendary engrams anymore to get you past this 265 light level, and that's what the game is intended to do. Now, what I also want you to be very cautious of is to make sure that you get the legendary marks from the legendary engrams that you don't need, and you do not infuse them into anything else, because those legendary shards are then going to be used for infusion material for the weapons that are from the raid, as well as for the stuff that Xur is selling, as Xur will take in legendary shards and he won't take anything else. The last thing that you have to note within this category here is that I want you guys to use a Fire Team Medallion, because what that does is it boosts the drop rate of all the blue legendary gear, as well as legendary gear in general, and even exotic engrams to drop as well. So for 4 hours, that Fire Team Medallion will be active, and so I want you guys to grind, complete as many patrols, public events, and explore the world as much as you possibly can, because that will then give you a higher chance to get the exotics, legendaries, and the blue gear that you need to get to 265. Once you guys have reached this 265 light level limit, you will then be able to get past that and go up to 300 by doing endgame content, and this endgame content consists of world quests, flashpoint, nightfall strikes, meditations, and other general milestones. Well, I would highly recommend that you start first, actually while you're already in the previous stage of going from 200 to 265, is the world quests, but I would not complete these world quests until you are already at 265. The reason I say all this is because the world quests take a lot of grinding to do, and if you guys want to complete them very fast, it's a good idea to already go ahead and grind for these things while you're in the previous stage of getting the blue engrams, because then once you get to 265, you guys will then automatically be ready to turn in these quests and then instantaneously get a nice boost in light level, going from 265 possibly all the way up to 275 just like that. The next thing that you can do is Flashpoint, and Flashpoint is a mass collection of public events that will always drop some type of legendary gear or some other type of weaponry to get you past this 265 light level limit. Another thing that you can do is do the Nightfall Strike, as the Nightfall Strike will always drop something higher than 265, and you can even do Meditations. Meditations are actually story missions that you can go do with Ikora, so when you go into the tower and you go over to Ikora, look to the right, and right over there will be 3 story missions that you can complete. Once you complete each of these story missions, Ikora will then give you legendary gear that will then get past this 265 light level limit and can get you all the way up to 300 just the same way as everything else that I've stated. Now, in addition to all these things, what you can also do is the same thing as the previous step in getting from 200 to 265 by grinding away at patrols and doing all those other things as long as you have this Fireteam Medallion. Just like in the previous step, the Fireteam Medallion is absolutely essential to gain you more exotics, and exotics are phenomenal to have because once again, exotics can get you from 265 to 300 just like that. The other thing that I haven't stated yet is that some of these events and some of these endgame rewards will give you Luminous Engrams. Luminous Engrams are very, very powerful, and they are exceptionally good because what they can do is get you other gear that is above 10 to sometimes even 15 light levels than what you currently are. Thus, I would highly recommend that you try and get these Luminous Engrams, but do not turn them in until you are ready to start the raid. The reason that I say this is because Luminous Engrams actually take the light level value that you currently are when you pick them up. So if you want to, you can go ahead and leave these at the vendor and then simply pick them up right before you're ready to go into the raid, and you'll have light level gear that is again 10 to 15 light levels higher, just like that, easiest by, making you even more prepared for the raid. After completing all this endgame content and you guys have somehow managed to get to 300, the only way to get from 300 to 365 is by doing the elite endgame grind, and that is the raid along with the prestige mode of the raid, Trials of the Nine, and Iron Banner. Unfortunately, all these events are pretty much done by the way in which Bungie is releasing them, so we really have no control on the game past this 265 light level limit, but if you guys do happen to get to 300, then you guys are in exceptionally good shape and almost 110% ready for the raid. Now, if you guys happen to have any other ways of getting from 200 to 265, or even from 265 to 300, then by all means, let me know and everyone else know down in the comment section below, as I know I still haven't gotten there yet myself, and I'm always looking for new ways to get there as fast as I possibly can. Lastly, go ahead and check out some of my other new videos, as you can see right there on the screen. If you happen to enjoy this one, then you're definitely going to enjoy those as well. That's pretty much all that I've got for you as of right now, and so as always, Deislayers, great gaming, until next time.